What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Long time no see. This is your boy Big Sin. I'm with the homie Hollywood J-Blaq. What's good?
What's good, man? It is going down in beautiful Orlando, and I know that we got the Pro Bowl coming up this year, brother. I don't know. Maybe some tickets might end up in your mailbox. May happen.
Well then, I might have to, yeah, who knows? Okay, so let me first off start by saying in this talk, you see the title, no political bullshit. Fuck politics, fuck it all.
No, you don't. Nobody says nothing during the election. You say that shit for somebody else's blog. We
Not
talking
this shit
football
right here.
because we got plenty to talk about. Ain't no need to talk about no politics today.
That's right. But first thing I want to say that's non-NFL related, but it's going to tie into the NFL when I finish the little speech I'm about to go on, is I would like to say congratulations to the Chicago Cubs fan base for sticking with that team for so fucking long. 108 years? My dude. Jesus Christ, man. Bill Murray, I thought Bill Murray would die before the Cubs would win the World Series.
I'm saying, right? You hear so many stories. You hear the grandfather was on his deathbed and watched the Cubs win before he passed away.
Yeah, there's been some awesome stories about these 80 and 90-year-old people who finally got to see their team win. And just said, okay, my life is complete. Goodbye.
Exactly. And I thought the greatest irony was that they beat a Cleveland team that was up 3-1.
Yeah, LeBron James was like, let's get it.
LeBron should have just never showed up to any of the games. That's what cost him.
No, he was there game 7. When they tied up the game, they showed him he was getting all fucking hype.
Yeah.
Then he had to tell his wife to put down the blunt because she was smoking a blunt in the first box. But anywho, now, where I would like to say fuck you to the Chicago Cubs is you have given hope to these shitty franchises in the NFL that they are actually going to do something when the time comes. Like the Oakland Raiders, like the Dallas Cowboys, like the Baltimore Ravens. These teams say, oh, we can win the Super Bowl now because the Cubs won the championship. No, you can't. Oakland and your fan base, come see me when you actually beat Kansas City.
Oh. Ooh. You're right. You're right.
Come see me when your owner forces your coach to put Tony Romo back in and you drop 5 straight. Baltimore, y'all motherfuckers are elderly as fuck. Even on a weak-ass Pittsburgh team, let me talk about Pittsburgh. These motherfuckers are so overhyped. Oh, they're the new kings of the AFC. They're going to take out the Patriots. Yada, 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 yada. Nope.
Wrong. Them cats was wrong. The Pittsburgh looked so good at the beginning of this year without Le'Veon Bell. I think the problem is Le'Veon Bell because they're not running D'Angelo Williams like they were before. I think in the way that the Pittsburgh offense runs, and this is not saying that Le'Veon Bell is not a great running back. I think he's easily one of the top 3 running backs starting in the NFL right now. I think that D'Angelo Williams fits better in the offense that they want to run because he's not only a backfield runner, he's a pass-catching running back. He's evolved himself and has gotten better with age. He's the Black Tom Brady.
Well, the question I have is, this game against Baltimore was a throwaway game for Pittsburgh. They did not need to rush back Ben Roethlisberger for this game.
Well,
we have a rocky road ahead of them over the next 3 or 4 weeks with Denver, Kansas City, Oakland.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. The one good thing
Pittsburgh might not even make the playoffs.
I know, but I think. Well, I mean, but look what we have here. You have a Bengals team that doesn't look great, and they've shown that they can easily look like one of the best teams in the AFC North and be the worst team in the AFC North. The Baltimore they're more than likely one of the worst teams in the AFC North, but can be like the best team when they're all firing on all cylinders.
It's because they're elderly and they have experience.
Yeah, and ask yourself, isn't the best team that hasn't had a win at this point in the season in history? The Cleveland Browns.
No.
No, without a win, with 0 wins in the history. We're talking about last 20 so years.
Detroit Lions that went 0-16 was better.
What?
They had Calvin Johnson Jr., Matt Stafford. They were just starting.
No, they had sometimes. They had sometimes Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford played in he was injured. He had this fucked up shoulder throughout the whole season. Sean Hill,
like Colt McCoy, he couldn't feel his shoulder when he could have left college.
Yeah, that was the Sean Hill show for that 0-16. If I remember Sean Hill for anything, it's 0-16.
But don't forget, the LA Rams said that he was going to be this. No, was it the Rams? No, it wasn't the Rams. Who was it? Oh, the Vikings. But he was going to be their starting quarterback this year.
Yeah, and we see how that turned out. Hi, Sam Bradford. Oh, but also think about this too with the Cleveland Browns. They have the last quarterback to win a game is Johnny Manziel.
Oh, Lordy. I swear.
Imagine if the Browns go 0-16 and this continues in the next year. That means Johnny Manziel will be in and out of rehab before the Browns win a game.
Okay, so all right, so before we get into this week's games, we're at the halfway point. Now, our predictions are kind of shaky that we made before the season started. We both picked the Patriots. That looks like a glowing prediction.
Yeah.
I unfortunately picked Cleveland because I thought they were going to have a turnaround season. We'll see how that's going. You went with Cincinnati, did you not?
Yeah. No, I said Cincinnati was going to win division. Yeah,
they still have a chance to because of how bad that division is.
Yeah.
I went with Jacksonville in the South. They still have a chance, but Tennessee is actually looking like the powerhouse in that division.
Yeah. Yeah, I went with Indy with the return of Andrew Luck.
I told you they were going to be shit.
Yeah. But they're good shit, though, apparently.
AFC West, I did pick the Raiders because I thought this was going to be their year to win that division, but I don't think they can get past Kansas City.
Oh, I remember I picked the Broncos. I said that defense can probably carry them, and it has for the majority of the season. But Kansas City coming on strong and the Raiders coming on strong. Denver might not make the playoffs. A couple losses?
Well, like Oliver Queen says in Arrow, the Denver's defense this past week, you have failed this city by giving Murray 200 and some odd yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah.
Now let's go to the NFC. The NFC North, I picked Minnesota. You picked Green Bay. They're both looking kind of shitty right now.
Yeah, yeah.
The NFC South, we both said Tampa Bay, and that's not really turning out well.
Oh, what are they, 3-4 or 4-3? I can't remember.
3-4, but Atlanta's just blitzkrieging the whole fucking thing. Then you got the NFC West, where I picked the Cardinals. And did you pick the Niners, or did you go with the Seahawks?
I picked the Seahawks, and I said that with a caveat, saying that my Niners might sneak in at 9-7, 10-6. We only got to win 8 straight games. 8 straight, baby. Just win, baby.
You still got the Patriots on the schedule, my friend.
Yeah, fuck. 8 big, baby.
And then we got the NFC least, which the rookies are carrying that Cowboys team.
Yeah. The rookies are carrying the division. What the fuck are you talking about?
Eli Manning's still Eli Manning. Odell Beckham is getting knocked out and marrying a kicking net. I don't fucking know about that one. All right, let's do a quick rundown of this week 9.
Okay.
We had the Falcons just demolish the Buccaneers for a revenge game from week 1, where the Buccaneers beat the shit out of Atlanta.
It wasn't even fucking close. It just I don't even know. I mean the Rams are the Rams, but I mean
I'm still gonna call him Matty Meltdown because I don't think he can do this all year.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Here's the one constant that I will tell you about the Falcons or the NFC South in general. Remember the last time that the Panthers went 0-5 or 1-5? Remember what happened last time? They ended up sneaking in, winning the division.
Right now, I think New Orleans might be that team that sneaks in.
I think New Orleans is a legitimate playoff team if they find that defense, kind of like the Patriots had 4 years ago, where
bend that don't break.
Yeah, exactly. If they can find that, they're a legitimate 10-6 team that can sneak into the playoffs, which is going to be bad news for fans in Minnesota because I don't think Minnesota can make the playoffs. They look like a legitimate dude. You should have seen it. I think it was when they were 5-0. Legitimate Fox made their little graphics. 5-0, most dominant team in the NFC. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yep, you just signed their death sentence.
Yeah, but if you notice during that whole 5-0 talk in the power rankings, they're still behind the Patriots.
Yeah. Always remember and see. Everybody fails to realize that as long as Tom Brady is healthy, they're still the best team in football.
You see, what makes me laugh, I'm going to get off the week real quick, is, ESPN has been the worldwide hater in Patriots Nation.
Oh, of course.
That. But now, I turn on the TV on Sunday, I watch ESPN, and you know what I see? I see who are the best teams in the NFL after the New England Patriots.
They gave Tom Brady 4 weeks off. Why did they give a man 4 weeks off and let him practice with Randy Moss and Wes Welker? Why?
Roger Goodell's an idiot.
Yeah. Basically, you know what this is going to be now. Roger Goodell is going to be playing favorites for the Patriots because he gave Tom Brady 4 weeks off. See, the haters are never happy, Phil.
Exactly.
The haters are never happy.
Never. All right, so now we're going to move on to a team that has been down in the last 90 seconds of every game this year,
Yep.
but have a 5-4 record. The Detroit Lions defeated the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford has become captain comeback this year with 5 of them.
Who would ever thought that the Lions would be as exciting to watch without Calvin Johnson Jr.? I mean,
it's because Golden Tate is a dominant player.
Oh, of course. And I think that Pete Carroll's probably pissing himself that he let him go and let him slip out of his hands. He didn't want
to see that. Did you see that whiff of a tackle on that last play?
Yeah.
Golden Tate came down with that ball, and the Minnesota dude was like, "Wee!"
Yeah. It was horrible. I mean, Golden Tate has been dominant, one of the most dominant receivers, and doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Matt Stafford, though, is playing like a young – let me think. I want to say that Drew Bledsoe that was playing in 95, Brett Favre, 95, around there, you know what I'm saying? Just a big, tall quarterback with no fear and just trusting the offense and trusting his receivers. Jim Caldwell is looking like a genius right now. You know what I'm saying?
He finally broke the statue yesterday when he celebrated. Usually I stand there like this.
Yeah.
He got excited yesterday.
Yeah. Bill Belichick probably gave him a call, said, show a little bit of emotion, damn it, you son of a bitch.
Bill Belichick is telling anybody that there's a problem. You know me, I love Coach Bill, but we're going to talk about the Patriots in this episode because I have to make my jokes about Jamie Collins when we get to the Browns.
Oh, yes.
Let's get to the next game on the slate. That the Steelers blowing another game to the Baltimore old-ass Ravens. The Steelers had no offense for 3.5 quarters. They put up almost 200 yards of offense in 6 minutes.
Remember, I told you that
3 quarters.
Just like I talked about this in the beginning. I think that not the Patriots. Let's keep talking about the Patriots because
they're in everybody's head, baby. Right there, we see it all day.
The Ravens with no running backs. No running backs. I don't even know who their running back is right now because they got rid of Forsett, I remember.
They re-signed him. They signed him after like a week after they cut him.
They signed him back? Okay, then Forsett is their running back. Either way, the Steelers on paper should have won this thing in a blowout. I don't care if the Ravens were at home. The Steelers should have won this game in a fucking blowout on paper. But that's why we actually play the games. And so,
well, you know what I find a little weird? Since Antonio Brown was fined for twerking that game, he really hasn't done much if you think about it.
I know. I know he's been shut down, but I mean, given the last few teams that they've played, I mean, he's played at least some top 10 corners, which I can understand. But also remember too that he's had Landry Jones as his quarterback the last 2 games, which doesn't bode well. I mean, up until Roethlisberger came back.
Only winning because they had the bye week the week after.
Yeah, well, they lost the bye week, so everybody loses the bye week.
But now Ben Roethlisberger is 2-7, returning from injury.
Yes.
For a guy who gets injured a lot, that's not a good record.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now we're going to move on to one of the more entertaining games of bottom dwellers. The Dolphins defeating the Jets, putting the Dolphins at 4-4 and the Jets at 3-6.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets. Fitzpatrick got hurt. I don't know who played. Was it Petty that came off the bench because Geno Smith was hurt?
No, Fitzpatrick finished the game.
I know, but he came off the bench. I'm saying Petty came off the bench for a minute. He showed a little bit of something, a little bit of swagger. But Fitzpatrick came back in. I know Fitzpatrick is playing for that last contract. And so I don't know. The Jets don't look like a playoff team to me. The Dolphins have already been that middle of the road. Remember, I told you last year the Kings of 8-8. The Dolphins don't go 8-8. It was a bad season.
Well,
so it is.
Well, so far, excuse me. So far this year, what's his name? Ajayi has been a monster. Lamar Miller really ain't been missed in Miami's backfield.
No, of course not. And surprisingly, that Arian Foster sticks. Huh?
Ryan Tannehill still sucks.
Oh yeah, he still sucks. No, yeah. I mean, with Arian Foster retiring, we wondered who was going to carry the load in Miami. Their running back there, what's that guy's name? I had his name. Yeah, your boy's been going off, and
he had 2 straight 200-yard games.
Yeah. Well, you got Forte. I mean, well, Forte's for the Forte. What the hell's up with Matt Forte? He came
Matt
to.
Forte's ancient. That's what the hell's up with him. He should have took the small contract with the Patriots when they offered it to him instead of the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, Forte's just looking horrible. You got Ajayi just outplaying this dude. Probably in the AFC is the second best running back to LaShawn McCoy. And that's not saying much because McCoy is very hit or miss. The only time he really looked good was against that porous strainer of a 49ers defense. It's not even a defense. We have a strainer.
Well, McCoy didn't look good against Seattle last night, too.
He looked okay. But remember, the most hold on.
LeGarrette Blount's still the best running back in the AFC East.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But, people are going to say I'm piggybacking off the Patriots. I want to let you say it before I do. Look at these stats. Let me tell you these stats.
Eric Blount is the perfect running back for New England.
You ready for these stats? So, Tannehill went 17 for 28.
Okay.
And they won. Let's see.
Because they were playing on a dumpster fire that nobody wants to piss on.
Ryan Fitzpatrick went 17 for 28 too. Just throwing that out there. The difference is that Ryan Fitzpatrick threw 2 picks.
What's that put his pick total up this year? 17?
Oh, Jesus, probably. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. What are your stats for this year? All right. So for the season, he has 8 picks and 8 touchdowns, 13 interceptions for the year. Who is he? Ty Detmer?
Nah, he's Chad Pennington, Mr. Noodle Arm.
I just don't know. The Jets are sad. I thought the Jets would actually get better from their 10-6 record from last year. I thought they would actually be 11-5 and sneak into the playoffs with 11-5, and they have disappointed me. Son, I am disappointed.
All right. Next, we're going to move on to who have the Cowboys actually beat this year?
Who?
What team has the Cowboys actually beat this year that is a decent team?
Oh, boy.
Because their fans are acting like they're ready to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, let's pull this up here. Let me pull up the Dallas Cowboys schedule. So
Quality opponents. That's what I want to know. Quality.
All right. So they lost to the Giants the first game of the season. Remember the last minute touchdown thing?
Yeah.
So they beat the Redskins, who looked horrible. Remember the Redskins looked horrible at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so that wasn't a quality win.
Okay. They beaten the Bears.
That's not a quality win.
They beat only the Niners by a touchdown. And given how
definitely not a quality win.
I'm saying, given how bad our defense is, if they didn't beat us by like 21, it's not a quality. It didn't do nothing. Okay.
Okay.
The Cowboys have beat the Bengals, which at the time
is not a quality win because they blew them out by 40.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. No, they only beat them by 14. It was what, 28 to 14.
Because most of that shit was in junk time, dude.
Yeah, that was true. But then you have the Browns, who that's definitely not a quality.
No, in other words, they haven't played no quality opponents.
No, and that's kind of where they beat the Browns 35-10 this past week. And
if I remember correctly, none of those teams have a winning record. Am I right?
No, but this is where the fun begins. Oh, remember they beat the Eagles and they beat the Packers. So they have a couple.
The Packers are not a quality win. You've seen the Packers play; they are shit.
Yeah, but I don't think they could beat the Eagles a second.
Philadelphia died in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So here's the rest of the schedule. You want to talk about a cushy schedule right here? The only threat on the rest of the schedule is going to be the second Eagles game, and then the Lions, because the Lions are going to be young and hungry fighting. It's the second to last game when they play the Lions, and you know they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
They already played the Giants twice.
Yes, but that is going to be in New York, and that's probably going to be one of those high-scoring. Well, no, never mind. Remember last time we said it was going to be a high-scoring game, and we got fucked. So
okay. The Cowboys will lose to the Giants. They'll lose to the Lions.
All right. So then look at this. The rest schedule, you got Steelers, Ravens, Redskins, Vikings, Giants, Bucks, Lions, Eagles.
Okay. The two losses I see right now for them is the Lions and the Giants.
So given that means they're going to be 13-3.
And that is if they don't put Tony Romo back in the lineup.
I don't think they will. I don't think
he's practicing this week.
Yeah, but I don't think they will. I think Jerry Jones.
They actually want to have a successful season. Not saying they're going to win a playoff game, but to win that division, I think they need to keep leaning on Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. Remember this thought. I don't know if you remember this. This was back 2002, right before I met Lil. Remember a wonderful guy by the name of Quincy Carter?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You remember he led the team to a 5-2 record when they were 0-3. No, 0-2 with whoever was on the bench and whoever was playing. He led them to a 5-2 record. And Jerry Jones said that I want the first quarterback back on. And they proceeded to go 5-11.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
Jerry Jones forces them to put Tony Romo in. It's going to kill their season.
It is. You have too much stuff going on. These young, hungry Cowboys, and I hate to say anything good about the Cowboys. You know I hate to say anything good about the fucking Cowboys. I think that with enough momentum, they can make a serious splash in the playoffs.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Yeah?
Tony Romo will be the quarterback of the New York Jets next year.
You think so?
If the Cowboys continue where they're at right now, they will use Tony Romo's trade bait, and he'll be in a green uniform next year.
I'm more afraid that Tony Romo is going to be in a 49er uniform since Trent Baalke likes injury-prone people. I'm more afraid of. I mean, we'll talk about the Niners in later, but good God, Trent Baalke, you fucking idiot-ass son of a bitch, cuz I swear to God, if I see you on the street, I'm going to punch your ass dead in your fucking mouth, cuz. Fuck you. Fuck the way that you think. Fuck your discount double check ass motherfuckers that you be trying to get. But I'll talk about that when we talk about the Niners. But yeah, I think that the Cowboys.
Okay, maybe you can answer this question for me. All right. Mm-hmm. So on the updated, if the season ended today, stats of the playoff teams for the AFC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got New England number 1.
Yeah.
You got Oakland at number 2.
Yeah.
For some reason, they got the Broncos as a wild card team, not the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a better record than the Broncos.
What? Who made this poll?
On NFL.com.
Are people not doing Common Core math right? What the fuck?
I don't know. The Chiefs are 6-2. The Broncos are 6-3. The Chiefs have a better record.
Math, sir. Math is not the NFL strongest quality. You know, all that CTE going around and stuff.
1 + 1 = 5. So the reason why I say that, because we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Yeah.
Nick Foles, who retired, I thought at the beginning of the season because he didn't want to play for the Rams no more, is playing for the Chiefs now. And with Alex Smith being hurt, I think Nick Foles started this game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, he did. That's correct.
And they got the win.
Yeah.
The Chiefs only had one running back in Chandrick West.
Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin got hurt.
Yep.
Kelce got kicked out of the game for personal fouls.
Yep.
And they still won.
You know why, sir?
Is it Andy Reid?
Yep. Simply, that's just really the only reason. And Nick Foles is very familiar with that offense. You know that. He was in the Andy Reid system for what, 4 years before Chip Kelly took over?
Yeah, and they'll play in the Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if Andy Reid signs Michael Vick. Who fucking knows? Just to cover his bases in case Alex Smith doesn't return. But fuck.
Well, Alex Smith will be starting next week. It's already been announced.
Yeah. I'm just saying, well, you know what I mean. Like, at this point, with the Andy Reid show rolls, and the Jaguars are just disappointing, man. Like, I felt bad. Like, we thought the Jaguars were going to slide in at the number 6 because I wasn't convinced that Houston was going to be good enough. Not sure as well I wasn't convinced about Tennessee. I thought they would slide in at the number 6, and
I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville. They got so many weapons. They got a good defense. They just can't get it together.
Under any other, I think that the problem is that under any other coach, the Jaguars would probably be the best team in the NFL. I think that Gus Bradley's offense, the way that things are done, and they just fired their offensive coordinator.
Gus Bradley's going to lose his job at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, very easily. Like if they don't go 8-8 and show some kind of improvement, it's a wrap. And like I see the Jaguars fans in the forums and shit, you can see the disappointment that they had.
Yeah, I've read some.
I feel bad, but rightfully so that they're disappointed. You know,
they have a hellacious team.
Yeah.
When they are clicking, those motherfuckers can go.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like Blake Bortles is a great quarterback. The offense, they have some of the best receivers in there. I think the only thing that they lack is running back depth, but that can be solved in free agency. Hell, somebody could have picked up Ray Rice or something. Fucking hey.
You gotta remember they signed Chris Ivory, but then he had that weird medical condition. And he had over 100 yards rushing this week in his first full game back. So
that's what I'm saying. It's been the T.J. Yeldon, Toby Gerhardt show.
T.J. Yeldon is a waste of space, man.
He was a poor draft pick. I mean, they drafted him with Blake Bortles, but he was a poor draft pick. I mean, they're gonna need a running back, and I think that the good thing is that the dude from Stanford is gonna fit in perfect when he gets there.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, perfect running back for that system. For what they're trying to do. I mean, Jaguars are the most dangerous team with the worst record, next to the Cleveland Browns this year.
All right, now do you remember when Carson Wentz was the talk of the town?
Oh yeah,
Pennsylvania. And here they go, losing another game, this time to a division rival, the New York Giants.
A little bit of a rookie.
It is obvious to me the Philadelphia Eagles, as good as their defense is, does not have an answer for Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who does have an answer for Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean, who really does? Huh?
The kicking net has an answer for Odell Beckham Jr.
The kicking net apparently seems the only person that can stop ODB.
You know what I'm saying?
The Giants still my favorite offense in the NFL right now, just because Rashad Jennings is doing his thing. You have Odell Beckham. You still have Victor Cruz for some reason drawing double teams. How are you hobbled in drawing a double team? I mean,
Victor Cruz, and they don't want to see him doing that sauce in the end zone, baby.
Exactly. That's why they're mad. They're like, if I see that motherfucker do a salsa one more fucking time.
But you still got Eli Manning doing Eli Manning things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it here.
Yeah. Here, everywhere. Fucking catch it, guys.
That was right to the Eagles. What?
My bad?
Yeah, no shit. looking like a guy with Down syndrome on the sideline, like, ooh.
The man of no emotion. That's what I call it. I thought Jay Cutler was the man of no emotion. No.
Jay Cutler's just a bitch. I said it since week 3, and I continue to say it today. Jay Cutler is just a bitch. You know how much I dislike Jay Cutler? You know how much?
Yeah, well, you know.
In 1917, I created a quarterback and put him on the Browns just to get Jay Cutler out of there.
You know Jay Cutler from last week, he's still high off that win from last week. You like that? You like that? Huh? You like that?
My thumb hurts. You go play.
I got to sit on the bench for the next 6 weeks. Sorry, coach.
I got a hand nail.
My thumb. Shit, the Niners might sign Jay Cutler. All hell gonna break loose.
At that point, I think you will move to Canada. All right, now let's move on to the Carolina Panthers and the Rams. The Rams tried to decapitate Cam Newton 5 times in this game.
So let's put this in perspective for a second. Cam Newton goes to Roger Goodell and say, Roger, stop these people from hitting me in the head, please. I need your help.
Roger, see how that worked.
I got you, dog. Don't worry.
Oh, shit. That motherfucker looked like George Foreman in his last fight against that Russian. Dun, 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 dun.
There's one rule. Never trust Roger Goodell.
I tell you that every day.
Never fucking trust Roger Goodell because he will end up fucking you in the end.
Did you see the highlight of the guy from the Rams jumping over the line and literally shoving his forearm through Cam Newton's face?
Yes. Yes. My fucking God.
That motherfucker, he hit him with a phenomenal forearm. That motherfucker was AJ Styles. Bum!
Look at that. I should have drew a meme. Nigga took off his helmet and AJ Styles' helmet was there. Now it all makes sense.
That motherfucker popped up like.
But they still eked out a fucking win. I tell you, the fucking Panthers. I told you, the last time they started 1-5, they ended up winning the division with a 7-9 record.
My only issue with Carolina this year is if things keep going to where they're going, Cam Newton's last season will be next season.
They try to kill that man. Told you should have just never said nothing.
It's because he talks too much, and his dances, they seem to get longer and longer each time he scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, something else he does that he shouldn't do is slow down before he goes to score.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, you can't do that. One thing he also needs to do is stop dressing up like the Joker after every game. I mean, that's one thing.
He's on with his pepper jack shoes?
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
The week before his celebratory outfit, looking like the Joker again with the pink suit and the purple hat. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Cam. All right, now it's time to talk about your favorite subject, my friend. Your favorite subject.
My favorite subject?
The 49ers, Colin Kaepernick going for over 400 yards against the Saints defense and still losing by 20.
Which tells you everything that you need to know about both the 49ers offense and our defense. It tells you everything you need to know. And I tell you, from an offensive standpoint, we are the best team in the first half of every game. There's no
defensive standpoint. You guys are playing in Mexico.
If games were played for 30 minutes, we would literally be undefeated. Undefeated.
Okay, I'm going to bring this up right now. I want to go back to our last video and your statement that I called you fucking nuts for making.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm going to do after this video, when we're done? I'm going to leave a link to the last video in the description down below so y'all can see what the fuck I'm talking about. My boy right here, my dog, my 2-decade-long friend, said the only game the 49ers would lose the rest of the season 3 weeks ago was to the Patriots.
That is true.
If I'm not mistaken, the 49ers still only have one win, right?
Yes. And I wasn't planning on the Patriots. I was planning on the Patriots being good. I wasn't planning on the San Francisco defense being this horrible. I mean, I don't think you understand, Phil. Historic levels of horde. Historic levels. I mean, we've gone past, setting records, what I'm saying, of how bad this can be. This is now going to be historically the worst defense of all time.
You know where your defense is right now?
We're like 33rd out of 32.
No, they're at the South Pole.
South Pole, yeah.
They're at the South Pole. They're down there chilling.
It's horrible.
All the retired people who said, you know what, fuck San Francisco, we're going to retire.
And the worst part about it is not even the passing defense. Because in all good intents and purposes, Drew Brees had a Drew Brees game. Okay? You can't stop Drew Brees from having a Drew Brees game because that offense is solely predicated on passing. You tell me how you have 200-yard rushers, give up, 3 touchdowns on the ground, historically horrible.
So speaking of the Saints, I want to get your thoughts on Drew Brees coming out against Roger Goodell today.
Well, I think that the majority of the NFL should have gone up. I mean, look at this. You see what happened with Tom Brady. The whole fact with Tom Brady is that it proves that if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. Just because of the power that the NFL gave Roger Goodell. I think people are starting to see it now in the decisions that he's making. I mean, with the whole thing with Josh Brown, that whole
that shit. Don't even get me started on that shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but you see what I'm saying, though. Like, you give this man all this power, and now you're fucked. But the problem is now you have the collective bargaining agreement coming up in a year or so.
And he's not going to be back on strike.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to end up. They're going to end up stripping him of all those powers. You can't, there has to be set things on what needs to be done. You can't decide what the commissioner have all this power. So a lot of people learn.
All right, we're gonna move on to the resurgent Titans, and who the fuck woke up Melvin Gordon?
Remember, I said that we talked about this a few weeks ago.
I know you said Melvin Gordon was going to be a good running back by the end of the year, and I questioned that shit.
Yeah.
What I seen him do to Tennessee yesterday, that motherfucker was just
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it like Josh Norman said. I'm gonna go out there in bestiality mode.
Bestiality.
Josh, did you go to school, motherfucker?
Beast mode and bestiality mode. Imagine if they were on the same.
You see that interview with Josh Norman when he said that shit?
All right. Bestiality mode.
That shit was on Fox Sports. He said that shit.
No. You're not an animal raping people. No.
But Melvin Gordon's stat line: 196 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 receptions for 80 some odd fucking yards.
Imagine he's the shoe-in for comeback player of the year, unless no, I don't see anybody else. That comeback player of the year.
Well, the Patriots get Deion Lewis back this week, so who knows?
Yeah, but here's the deal. Hold on, let me pull up the stat line. Let me pull up the stats for the year, so you can understand how incredulous this really is.
Well, he didn't have a touchdown all year last year. He's got 9 so far this year.
Yeah, it's scary. He's a scary, scary man. So his stats for this year, he's averaging 4 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. He has 193 carries for 768 yards.
And he's still the second best running back in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Because behind Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. These young guys, 2-year guys, easily. I mean, the rookie of the year is going to be a battle between Prescott and Zeke.
I think Zeke will pull it out because he's more consistent. Dak is more deke and dunk and relying on Zeke to carry that offense.
Yeah, which is exactly what the Cowboys needed. But yeah, man, I mean, Melvin Gordon is a freaking monster. And I remember I'm so mad. Why couldn't I have him on my fantasy team this year? Remember, I banked him. I snuck him in last year on a fantasy team, and he didn't. Yeah. I regret.
He averaged 0.9 yards a carry last year.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Melvin Gordon is that he has 1,000 yards from scrimmage halfway through the season, over 1,000 yards from scrimmage.
But you see the difference between this year's Chargers and last year's Chargers. Honestly, right now the Chargers could easily be 9-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
All their games only lost were by under 4 points.
Yeah. Yeah. Chargers are a dangerous team. That it's either Phillip Rivers looks like a god or Phillip Rivers looks like Brett Favre at the end of an NFC Championship game. I mean,
the difference between, like I was saying, between this year and last year is they actually have an offensive line that is healthy.
Yeah.
And a running back they can trust.
Yeah. Yeah. And oddly enough, and here's the thing that with the Chargers, they had 2 tight ends to start this season. They had drafted a really good rookie. He's been out. Antonio Gates has stepped up and has turned it into a renaissance season, just like he did towards the end of last year. Like he just turned this into a straight renaissance season.
Antonio Gates is still one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Oh, yeah. For somebody that only played college football 1 year.
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Yeah.
I think San Diego's going to sneak into the playoffs and put a scare into a team.
Yeah, I think because I don't see anybody in the AFCs making it a wild card aside, actually at all. Buffalo looks convincing, but not convincing.
We'll get to them in a few.
Yeah. So I don't see anybody else. I think 3 teams make it out of the AFC West. Maybe as Raiders and Chiefs for sure.
I think Kansas City will end up winning the division. Then it'll be the Raiders and the Chargers. I think will get that last wild card spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move on to what I thought was one of the uglier games of the weekend. You might have a different opinion, but 2 quarterbacks who, whenever they're talked about, even the one's only been around a couple years, he's a future Hall of Famer. Andrew Luck is not a future Hall of Famer.
Not behind that O-line, he's not a future Hall of Famer.
Well, until he beats the Patriots, he's not a future Hall of Famer. The Patriots have outscored the Colts an average 45-17 since Andrew Luck has become their starting quarterback.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that includes 3 playoff games.
Jesus.
They beat. What the fuck happened to the Packers?
I don't know. Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. The Packers have the worst passing defense in the NFL. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. They're number 19. The Colts have the worst passing defense in the NFL.
And the Packers couldn't do shit against them.
It makes you wonder why. But then you think about it.
Because they stopped believing in Mike McCarthy and they're tired of listening to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, here's the other thing too. They don't have a running game. Eddie Lacy's out. And as much
Eddie Lacy said he went on P90X, but how do you gain 40 pounds going on P90X?
Well, he lost the weight. He just all that cheese going to fucking.
He went back to Chinese food.
That Green Bay. That Green Bay food, man. All that starch and shit. You gotta gain weight in order to maintain yourself in the cold. It's fucking shit. I mean, but
I look like a motherfucking polar bear.
Yeah, but fucking, he's one of their best offensive players, regardless of how 40 pounds or not. He was their best offensive player. Now he doesn't have it.
And I get that. But their main issue to me is Aaron Rodgers. He holds on to the ball way too long, and he makes stupid decisions when he actually throws it to somebody.
Yeah. And well, his offensive line is not as good as it used to be. It was in Aaron Rodgers' best year, that offensive line was legitimate. Like they protected.
Would you, as a former football player, offensive linemen, do you really want to block a guy for 10 seconds while your quarterback runs back and forth for no fucking reason?
Yeah.
That is what he is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, and even worse, that the Colts' pass rush isn't even really that good. Legitimately, the Colts have the worst pass defense. And they're number 32. They're worse than the Niners, oddly enough. That's pretty hard to fucking do. But,
if the Packers make the playoffs this year, it is a very big failure for the NFC.
Well, I don't think remember last year? We talked about this last year, me and you. The Packers didn't look really good. They still don't look good. Only reason why they're successful is the fact that they can stop the run, which they didn't even do against the Colts because Frank Gore had a touchdown. He did his thing.
Well, Frank Gore has always beat up the Packers.
Yeah. Well, Frank Gore is the man. I don't even know why we got rid of him. But anyways.
Carlos Hyde. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. Trent Baalke was a
No!
exactly, and I don't know. It's just all bad. Like I sit there and I look and I think to myself, like I don't think the Packers are on a downslope, and there's gonna be some changes. They're gonna need to figure this shit out.
So now we're going to move on to the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders, huh?
Denver Broncos. And not behind Derek Carr's arm. They did it on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. Oddly enough, you would think that the Raiders would have been, they beat everybody every single way, but the winning on the ground is legitimate.
Especially to beat Denver with basically just running the ball the whole game.
Yeah, yeah. How the fuck do you do that?
And the funny thing is, people are like, oh, Denver didn't have a team Khalid, Keith Talib, this and that. Their corners. The Raiders didn't throw the fucking ball, so what does it matter?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The defensive line and your linebackers failed. Von Miller, I think, bought into his own hype and is just not the guy he was last year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, shout out to the Raiders for doing their thing. Congrats. Proud of you.
Yeah, proud of you.
The Raiders are just crazy.
Hold on. For the people who actually watch the video, my boy Mr. Black here, he's a 49ers fan, but he is from Oakland.
Yes.
And with the Oakland Raiders moving to Las Vegas next year, or in a couple years, he lived in Las Vegas the majority of his life. So,
yeah, imagine this whole shit is just crazy. Like the Vegas with a pro football team. I mean, what is going on in America? Really?
How bad do you feel for Oakland Raider fans? Once their team finally gets good, they're about to get gone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. It's real interesting. I mean, the way that they won this game. When I'm looking at these stats here, the Raiders, they won it with two good running backs. They averaged 6 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry, bro.
Against that Denver defense.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And
he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Latavius Murray with the ridiculous stat numbers. I mean,
a guy with an injured ankle. He wasn't even supposed to play in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean, who the hell, man? See, and this is where John Elway is going to end up fucking up because he needs a quarterback. He needed a good quarterback.
And we've seen in the little bit that Paxton Lynch played this year, he's not ready.
No, he's not ready. He's not ready. Simeon's just barely holding on. I mean, he knows the offense. He's been in the offense for 2 years, but you should have paid the man. You should have paid old boy's money. You should have paid higher for Colin Kaepernick. You should have there's a lot of things you should have done, and Elway didn't do it trying to be cheap on the low because he wanted to re-sign Von Miller. And Von Miller is fine, and having a great defense is fine. But when you don't have the personnel on offense to control all these weapons that you have on offense, then what good is it?
You're absolutely right. You have the object of football is to outscore the other team.
Yeah, you can't go budget. You can't go budget busters on a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? A quarterback is the key to a team. I mean, you probably figured because Peyton Manning was
a shell of himself last year.
Yeah, but you had Osweiler putting in work.
Yeah, Osweiler won them the division and took them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning just reaped the benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and now on to that clusterfuck, horribly officiated Monday night game from last night. What the fuck is up with the officials whenever there is a Monday night game in Seattle? The Hail Mary, the pass interference, the catches that ain't catches. The fucking hold on, let's go back to Tom Brady and Deflategate right now. Did you see the ball that the punter caught? They squished like a fucking Nerf ball.
Yeah.
Do I hear any national outcry about it?
Yeah, no, of course not. Of course not, because you know why. You know why.
Because he's not a Patriot. He's not Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this game, okay, the question I have for you, was it a dirty hit when Richard Sherman tried to break the field goal kicker's leg last night?
Oh yeah, easily.
You think that was dirty?
Oh, it was.
Or was it the ref's fault for keeping the whistle in their mouth and not blowing the offsides as soon as it was done?
That's even worse. I mean, because they knew it was offsides, he fucking took out.
If you watch the play over again, Richard Sherman comes offsides blatantly. He is leaning down to block the kick. The ball was still on the ground.
Yeah.
His body was falling into the kicker. So technically, it was not a bad call. The referees just didn't blow the whistle when they should have.
Yeah. Which they should have. And
because as a football player, what are you always told? Play until the whistle.
Yeah, exactly. Play until the whistle. And
it looked dirty when you first seen it.
Yeah. But see, that goes back to the whole Seattle thing. Like, they've been getting away with some bullshit, and these Monday night games have been just the exemplary of it. I mean, there was literal pass interference and roughing the quarterback on the last play.
Oh, that last play, fucking the receiver for the Bills got passed to the field with like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
They drug him straight to the ground, and they didn't call nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know. But nobody's looking at that because everybody's looking at Tom Brady, and everybody's looking at to see who's going to celebrate more, if Antonio Brown's going to offend anybody, or bullshit that the NFL thinks it's cool. I mean, it's not cool. And
it's becoming the new fun league.
Yeah, exactly.
They need them with the officials. They need to hire these guys full time. These guys don't know the rules of the fucking game. It is obvious. They don't know what a catch is. They don't know what roughing the passer is. They don't know what roughing the kicker is. They don't know what pass interference is. The only thing they call is holding.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Raiders, then you get 26 flags one game.
Well, at some point, you're gonna have to measure the officials on their calls throughout the season, and those that make bad calls, too many bad calls, need to be suspended or fired immediately. Like, you got to make these officials accountable so they know that they're making the right call every time. And I don't think that
that's the problem. No official has ever been held accountable for making a mistake. They come out the next day, Dave Blandino says, "Oh, we're sorry, we made the wrong call. Oops, it won't happen again." And guess what? It happens 50 times the next week.
Yeah, exactly. It's horrible. It needs to be something done. Some new policy or something. It's just ridiculous.
I think in my honest opinion, the referees and the umpires need to be full-time employees for the NFL.
Yeah.
These guys are cops, they're teachers, garbage men. They work a full-time job except for on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all the new rules being added every year, these guys don't have time to read a 7,000-page rule book that the NFL has.
And that's why I think that they need to hone their craft, and the NFL needs to pay them more to do stuff in the off season and shit like that, and they don't. Like, these guys are treated like teachers. They're off, except the difference is that they officiate for 4 months out of the year, and they're off for the other 8. Versus teachers, and it needs to be. These guys are responsible for everything, on the field in the NFL. They need to be held accountable as such.
All right, so it's that time of the video where you get your Crying Jordan pick of the week.
The Crying Jordan pick of the week has definitely got to go to my favorite punching bag, the Cleveland Browns. Shame, shame, shame. Just like I said earlier, the last quarterback to win a game for the Cleveland Browns is Johnny Manziel. And Cleveland knows it. The fans know it. Hugh Jackson knows it. Everybody knows it. He's going to be in and out of rehab before the Browns win another game.
I'm going to give the award to, and I said I was going to mention this, but it's a player on the Cleveland Browns right now. Mr. I want Von Miller money. What? You want to go play for the Browns? I'm going to give it to Jamie Collins. My boy, you should have just kept your mouth shut and did your job.
Exactly.
You would still be on the best team in the NFL, not the worst.
The worst part about that whole thing is that Cleveland was actually very interested. And I think See, I think that that the Patriots and the Browns have a thing. Okay, you see that they got Barkevious Mingo earlier this year.
Yeah.
They just traded over Jamie Collins, and I've noticed over the last 3 years or so they've done some low tier trades with each other, under the radar with each other. I would be surprised if Joe Thomas ends up in a Patriots uniform off a signing trade next year.
You know, I was hoping they would make the move this year. I think they could have got him for Jamie Collins, but at the time, I do believe Bill Belichick called Cleveland and was like, "Hey, I got this guy. He was, first team All NFL last year. What do you want to give me for him?" And the guy on the other side of the line from the Cleveland Browns was like, "I'll give you a third-round pick." And Bill Belichick's, "Okay, deal." Click. And the reason that conversation happened is because Bill Belichick was walking around the locker room. Jamie Collins was in there on the phone with another former Patriot by the name of Chandler Jones, who shared this belief. And I don't know if you heard about this or not, but tell me, you get paid a lot of money to play in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
What is the one thing Bill Belichick asks all his players to do? Be students of the game, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Did you know the reason they traded Chandler Jones and probably the reason they traded Jamie Collins was because both men said they hate watching NFL football and would rather be playing video games instead of doing games?
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Not in Bill Belichick's system, my friend. He's not. Bill Belichick is not in Madden for a reason.
Exactly. Video games, huh? Video games? Oh, I got you. Video games.
It's fucked up. Robert Kraft is in Madden. Bill Belichick ain't.
Because you got to pay Bill in order to have him in the game, okay?
Bill Belichick can say, "I want that Von Miller money, Madden." You want my hoodie? I want that Von Miller check.
He said, "They're like, what? You want to be Coach Patriots? What?
Yeah.
Is that Bill Belichick? You want to be Coach Patriots?"
The coach's name, it's N.E. Patriots. That's the coach's name on the game.
Hell no.
All right, so this week on Thursday night, we have a clusterfuck game. We have the winless Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. So
does it really matter?
To a point, I think that Kevin Hogan, not Hulk Hogan, Kevin Hogan,
Let me tell you something, brother.
Is looks good when he plays. I mean, they only bring him in for a few plays at a time, but he looks really good when he's actually playing. So, I think that's I think they need to let him play. I think the Browns at this point should just throw caution to the wind and say fuck it, throw in Kevin Hogan and see what he got. But the Ravens got this easily. It's not even a question. Even the old ass Ravens, they got this.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Somehow, some way, I think the Cleveland Browns go into Baltimore this week and win themselves a football game.
You think so?
I have a feeling that a certain former Ohio State quarterback could be starting this game under center for the Browns. Yes, he's their best wide receiver, but
Is it that bad that they're down to Terrell Pryor? No.
He started once this season already.
Is it that bad? Jesus.
Remember last year was fail for Cardale.
Fail for Cardale.
But this year, there's no good college quarterbacks coming into the NFL draft next year.
I mean, you have Deshaun Watson, but see, my problem with Deshaun Watson is that he's another Cam Newton. He's another Colin Kaepernick. He's another one of those mobile quarterbacks that they need to be nurtured into the system and need a great coach to be mentored. There's not enough Jim Harbaughs or Bill Belichick's to go around, okay? It just isn't. To me, there's not even enough Pete Carrolls to go around. And so
let's jump ship, do something we haven't done yet. let's talk about college football real quick, all right?
Okay.
Now, last week in the college football playoff rankings, these motherfuckers for some reason put Texas A&M at 4 over Washington, who's undefeated, and over Ohio State.
That tells you everything you need to know about college football right there. That's that bullshit.
I thought that's why they went away from the computer system, so there wouldn't be no more retarded shit like this.
Now it's got even more fucking retarded. Fucking hey.
Then what does Ohio State do to prove a point? Number 10, Nebraska, they beat them 62-3.
Yep.
I know the college football playoff rankings came out tonight. And I will honestly be mad if they jumped Ohio State over Washington.
Let's check it out. Huh?
College football playoffs. Okay, Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Washington are your top 4.
Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Washington. That Ohio State-Michigan game at the end of the season is going to...
will determine a playoff spot.
Yeah. That's going to be a hell of a game.
I honestly think right now I would put Michigan over Alabama.
Think so?
Nick Saban does have his best team, but I'm going to tell you this and mark my words, they will not win the college football championship with a freshman quarterback.
No, they're not. No.
And they have 3 freshman quarterbacks.
Jesus.
Nick Saban's defense and his run game are doing this like usual.
Yeah, of course.
When they play a team like Michigan, who's averaging 50 points a fucking game.
Yeah, Michigan's firing on all cylinders. There ain't no question about that.
And think about it. This is only John Harbaugh's second season with that team.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just imagine where we're going to be at in a few. I mean,
5 years from now, Michigan could be fucking undefeated for 3 straight seasons.
Yeah. Michigan, Jim Harbaugh got them boys right. And then you see me holding a picture of Jim Harbaugh like Wolverine with the X-Men.
I'm talking about,
Yeah.
what could have been and what was.
Yes. Exactly.
You know what I think the 49ers should do?
What?
I think they should call New England and inquire about Matt Patricia.
They need to do something.
The defensive coordinator for the Patriots? Because he's done more with a lot less talent than what the 49ers has.
Well, here's the deal. So I told you when I told you that there's some things that we learned about the 49ers and Chip Kelly. For the most part, Chip Kelly's offense works if you can consistently, if you have the personnel to consistently do it over 4 quarters. The problem is that we don't have the personnel consistently to do it over 4 quarters. And I think if you pair Chip Kelly with a great defensive coordinator like Matt Patricia, or hell, even a Dan Quinn or somebody, like you would legitimately have a really great team. We would have a great team.
See what the issue that's going to affect the 49ers in this offseason is the big elephant in the room of the guy at Oregon who runs their football team is going to throw $10 to $15 million at a coach.
Oh, of course.
And I think Chip Kelly is going to get that offer.
You think so?
Oregon has not been the same since Chip Kelly left.
No, but they've been running the same offense.
But that coach over there cannot run it like Chip Kelly can.
Yeah. But even at that, see, this is the thing, though.
You guys could always rehire the Swamp Thing, Tom Sula again.
No. Porn producer and shit.
Will you denounce your fanship of the 49ers to bring back Coach Tom Sula?
I'll never watch another 49er game. I love my Niners, but I'd never watch another game.
I told you, the Patriots will accept you into our loving arms.
The thing is, here's the thing. We have a GM that nobody wants to work for. Subsequently, have a team that nobody wants to play for.
Yeah, Trent Baalke's a fucking retard.
He's the worst GM ever. in the history of football. To let your personal feelings dictate football decisions, like the decision with Jim Harbaugh.
Because Jim Harbaugh would have kissed his ass?
Yeah. Yeah, that was literally the most idiotic thing that has ever happened. He destroyed that franchise in that 1 year, starting all those rumors with Jim Harbaugh. He destroyed us in 2014. I'll never forgive Trent Baalke for that. And he's literally made it so that, like, literally nobody wants to play here. What big name is wanted to play here? Name one. Name one person. Because remember, Torrey Smith was traded. He didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, and he's actually doing pretty well down there in Detroit right now.
Well, no, you're talking about Bolton. Yeah, Bolton.
Yeah.
But Torrey Smith, he was traded to us. He didn't, I mean.
He wasn't the same receiver he was in Baltimore.
No, because we don't run the same offense. But here's the thing. You know the most wide open receiver on every single play is Torrey Smith?
Well, when you don't have a quarterback to trust to throw the ball, then.
Well, Chip Kelly's offense takes a little bit to develop. We don't have the offensive line to support that.
But, dude, he won with Nick Foles. He should be able to win with Colin Kaepernick or Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert is a mistake-prone quarterback. I literally give what this is Kaepernick's fourth game, going to be coming back this fourth game. I literally say if we don't find any more improvement, I mean, he did some great improvement. Yes, it was the New Orleans Saints. I fucking get it, okay? But at the same time, the New Orleans Saints have usually been beat deep. Chip Kelly used his offense to do good on offense. This next game against the Cardinals, we're playing a tough defense. If Colin Kaepernick can maintain that kind of performance against the Arizona Cardinals, then we know that the problem is not Colin Kaepernick at this point.
Well, that matters on how you look at the Cardinals' defense, because you got to remember, Jimmy Garoppolo ate them up.
Yeah, but at the same time, they've still been very stout. And you're also talking about the Patriots' offense.
Yeah, it was the Patriots' offense with no Rob Gronkowski. Edelman played like 3 plays.
Yes.
And backup quarterback.
Yes, but you're still forgetting that Bill Belichick is still one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. You don't think that he has a game plan coming into today? Remember, I told you the game plan. Make sure you don't turn over the fucking ball so Arizona doesn't take advantage of you and score on you. He has caused the recipe for Arizona's disaster this entire season. He's done. Remember what I told you this. When Bill Belichick finds a way to beat you, everybody emulates that.
Well, yeah, because you can actually go back over a decade. The St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. Bill Belichick exposed them in the Super Bowl. Guess what? The Rams never got there again.
Yep, exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to make. It's when Bill Belichick finds a way to not only beat you but dominate you on doing the things that you do, then you know it's a problem. Then your team is never the same again. That's why no team in the NFC East hasn't barely scratched the playoffs since Bill Belichick and the Bills have been. And the Patriots have been dominant. That's the whole reason why he even stays in the AFC championships or the Super Bowls. I mean, I think they could use that recipe. The Niners don't have the personnel. I get that. They don't have as good as a running back, that a veteran running back that can do what they can do. But Colin Kaepernick is good enough to win games. He just doesn't have all the tools around him to make this happen. No, he hasn't had Carlos Hyde for what? Out of the three games he practiced, he had 1 game with him, and Carlos Hyde in the second game fumbled twice. Give up the ball.
Yeah, what's going on with Carlos Hyde? He had such a promising start to his career and then just tanked.
The premise of being a full-time back, and all of our running backs have been garbage. Except for DeJuan Harris. I don't even know where the hell this fucking dude came from, DeJuan Harris. What the hell? What kind of rock did he crawl under from free agency and ended up our fucking team? Fucking shit. And he's been
running back. Yeah, I'll play.
Yeah, Mike Davis has been nothing but a shit sandwich. Our offensive line is garbage. Our defense is Swiss cheese personified. There's the only good thing about the San Francisco 49ers is Colin Kaepernick, who 4 weeks ago wasn't even starting and was still recovering from an injury, which tells you a lot about the 2016 San Francisco 49ers. We're horrible. We're horrible. The only good thing about us is Colin Kaepernick. I don't care what any of my Niner faithful friends says, and they're all pissed off because they want to see Christian Ponder. No, Christian Ponder comes in, he's going to get his fucking neck broken with that damn offense.
Christian Ponder couldn't win with Adrian Peterson. He's not going to win with what they have.
Exactly. They want him there. Like, no, let Kaepernick play. He's getting it right. It's taking some time, but he's getting it right.
Well, the problem I see with Kaepernick is his body is not the same that it was a few years ago.
Oh, of course not.
For some reason, he just like shriveled up, and I don't know what the hell happened to him.
Well, with that injury, that shoulder injury, and I looked up the shoulder injury. You literally can't do anything, any kind of training or nothing. And he was hurt halfway through last year. You know.
Yeah, because you guys finished the season with Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, he was hurt halfway after Game 5. He was hurt. We were 2-3.
And that's also because Mike Tomsula made him a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. Well, and the Niners tried to drag their Kaepernick's name through the mud and shit like that. I don't know. But I think the problem is now. I really think that the loss of Michael Crabtree really affected Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, his career has had a severe resurgence with Derek Carr as a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So remember in 2014, kind of Jim Harbaugh kind of wrote out Michael Crabtree out of the offense. You know, that Super Bowl, that NFC Championship really fucked with his head. You know, you remember that Richard Sherman said really fucked with his head. He wasn't the same receiver last year. I mean, no, not last year. In 2014, he has a career resurgence in 2015 because he was literally when he was when Amari Cooper was drafted. Amari Cooper played the whole season hurt. Michael Crabtree was literally the #1 receiver last year in Oakland.
Yeah, and Amari Cooper played the whole season hurt, but still forced a double team on every fucking play because he's that damn good.
Yeah. And that's why I said I think that Colin Kaepernick, having no Michael Crabtree has changed a lot because he was that smallish wide receiver. He was our Wes Welker. He was our Edelman. You know what I'm saying? He was our Amendola. He was that guy you threw in the slot. You can get a catch when you need him to. He had sure fucking hands. You know, and we don't have him anymore. We lost him. You know, I mean, what can you say?
So what do you think is the time frame for your 49ers to rebuild?
We need to lose everything. I think that in order to show potential free agents and potential rookies that we are a serious competitor, we need to fire Trent Baalke. We need to let the dude that was from the Eagles that Chip Kelly brought over, that Jed York likes, the assistant GM. Because he made some great personnel decisions before Chip Kelly had personnel decisions. Because remember, he's the one that put together that defense that's there now in Philadelphia. He's the dude that put together basically the that core. Like he was able, remember he was the guy that got McCoy. He was the guy that got Ryan Matthews, and and they had a great
Deshaun Jackson and shit like that.
Yeah, that GM, GM was great. So I think that because that assistant GM commands respect. He's respected by not only fellow players in the NFL, but in college recruiting circles as well.
What surprises me about him following Chip Kelly is the fact that Chip Kelly ran off Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin. He ran off a lot of fucking players down there in Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. So the owner, Howie Roseman, of the Eagles, wanted, I guess Chip Kelly wanted certain players, and then they weren't pushing enough for him in Philadelphia. So Howie Roseman said, "Oh, if you think you can do it yourself, you should be the GM then and make the personnel decisions." And demoted the one dude to assistant GM, the dude that got all these players. And so, yeah, Chip Kelly made some bad decisions. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about that. I do think, though, that he's learned from those mistakes. I think if you can have him consistently focus on football, he can be one of the best coaches in the NFL. His offense works. We've seen it pull up points in bunches. The problem is that the defense can't hold off anybody long enough to continue to make this offense work, even when you're trying to get past the inconsistencies, because there are going to be inconsistencies. The offense is new to every single person on this team, you know. But they need to be at some point. You got to understand that Trent Baalke has been the problem for the last 2-3 years.
No, I know that, and I know. I don't know why the owner keeps him around. They've really ruined a great franchise.
He has, and it's sad. It's sad. I have to sit here off the high. You remember how happy I was? Remember 2012, 2013, 2013 season when my Niners made it to the Super Bowl.
Remember the game between the Niners and the Patriots that went down to the wire?
Yeah, and remember how happy I was because I said that we needed this, you know, and then you know how sad I was, and then to see how the next year played out. We made it to the playoffs, best record in the NFL, lose to Seattle. Then we end up 7-9 because of Trent Baalke and his piss poor way of GMing. I was angry. I was pissed off. I'm still angry. I still say fuck Trent Baalke to this day. Fuck him. But we'll come back. We'll be stronger. I'm not worried. With the Niners, we got this.
The Patriots got your back. Just remember that. All right, my friend. This has been another episode of NFL Talk. We will be back regularly. We've had a few weeks of ups and downs and ins and outs and, you know, shit go on. We will be back with Wrestling Talk on Friday because we have a lot of shit to talk about wrestling.
Oh, yes. Oh, I just got done watching Raw. And we got to talk. I want to talk about Hell in a Cell. I want to talk about Survivor Series in 2 weeks. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Right. Friday night, we'll do Wrestling Talk.
Okay.
Do you want to do the next episode of Football Sunday morning or Saturday night?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Bright and early?
Huh?
Bright and early?
Bright and early.
You got it, my friend. This has been your boy, Big Sin. That's the homie, J-Blaq.
Yo, make sure you hit the button, subscribe on the best NFL talk show on the planet. Don't believe it? Just watch the old episodes. Watch this episode. You understand why it's the best. Better than ESPN, better than Fox Sports, better than CBS, better than HBO puts out on Wednesday nights.
You know why it's the best, my friend? Because of real fans talking real shit and we don't hold back.
Exactly.
Only when not Skip Bayless sucking the Cowboys' dick all the time. Anyway, you all have a good night. Thank you for joining us. We will see you Friday night for Wrestling Talk.
Peace.